Are the Mariners built to make it back? I love that. You're angry. You're upset. You're hurting. You've never been to the World Series. You were so close. I mean, oh my God, you were 9 outs away. Are the Mariners built to make it back? Well, you recall what the Mariners did at the deadline to improve their offense, I assume. You recall that they got Josh Naylor and Eugenio Suarez from the Diamondbacks. I hope you recall that. You do, don't you? Well, guess what? They were pending free agents. They were definitionally rentals. Running it back, the concept. There are a few people that thought that I was mean to Mina Kimes. I was not at all when she wants her Mariners to run it back. And I simply said, no GM ever says that because no GM does that. I meant a full 26 for 26 run back. It doesn't happen. The starting nine from game 7 will not be the starting nine game 1 of 162. I promise you that. Totally normal. Totally fine. It doesn't mean the Mariners can't compete. But there is no way the Mariners can sign both Naylor and Suarez. The question that you should be asking is, have we seen the best of Cal Raleigh? And the answer is yes. And I'm sorry to all people in Seattle. But if you think that Cal Raleigh is going to hit 60 next year, it's just not going to happen. It's so rare. He's not built like Judge. He's not talented like Judge. It doesn't mean he's not the MVP, which Judge should be the MVP. But what it means is the catching position, unless they start moving him into DH a little more, which they won't, whether they move into first base, which they could, a little bit of first base, the mental toll that catching does on you, and Cal Raleigh is a well above average defensive catcher, well above average. As a matter of fact, I believe his first passed ball did not happen until the postseason all year, and the guy plays like every game. But to expect him to do what he did this year is absolutely unreasonable. The second thing that is unreasonable is about the pitching. You remember the Mariners were the team, I don't know, was it 3-4 years ago, where all 5 guys just kept starting every game? They were unbelievable. Well, the starters this year, and you watched them in the playoffs, you watched Gilbert, you watched Luis Castillo, you watched Kirby, you watched Wu give it up, but he was their best starter until he got hurt all year. You watched Miller with the spin and the speed. It's a great starting 5. I could argue persuasively that it was the best rotation in all of baseball. I would take those 5 even over the Dodgers rotation, frankly. Certainly over every other team that I can think of. Although when Suarez and Sanchez and Wheeler were dealing and Nola was decent, the Phillies were something else. But no, I would take those 5. What do you do to return everybody, keep them possibly healthy? It's going to be more difficult than you think. Why? Because when you have pitchers who are approaching free agency, when you have pitchers who have 1 to 2 years of arbitration left, you can decide to take them all up to free agency, the way the Tigers are thinking about what to do with Skubal, who has 1 year left of arbitration. But when you're putting your team together and thinking about the future, you can't take an entire group of pitchers that way. You have to be judicious in what you're going to do. You have to be smart with who you're going to extend, because the likelihood of that rotation being that intact and having that ability, it's simply going to be difficult. The concept of the Mariners coming back and saying, hey, we're pushing our chips in, the usual, we're all in, all of that poppycock. The problem is when you go all in and it doesn't work, you end up looking a lot like the teams who were in the 2023 World Series. It's not to say that Texas and Arizona haven't had interesting runs since that World Series, with Texas having won. It's cool to see the Diamondbacks try, but then with injuries be forced into sell mode, which they were, and then still they were competitive for a wild card until the final weekend of the season. The problem with teams that go all in is you're going to pay the price. And you have to decide, is the juice worth the squeeze? You watch it with football teams. You watch it with what they do with their cap. You watch football teams go all in. And if they win the Super Bowl, you're fine with mediocrity for a couple years after. If they don't win, you're despondent beyond repair that your team cannot sniff the success that it had in a particular year. And that success did not lead to a world championship. That is the whole problem. Only one of 30 teams gets the ring. And if there's more than one team that is doing the all in, that means that more than one team is going to get screwed and more than one fan base is going to get hurt. Do I worry that hurt is coming to Seattle? Is this the beginning of a fantastic window of competitiveness because of the makeup of their team? We're going to wait to see. But wait to see is when we tell you something's going to happen. If it does, fine. If it doesn't, fine. We have an official wait to see today. The Seattle Mariners will not make the LCS next year. And Cal Raleigh will not hit 60 home runs next year.